to a creator. I'm not going to sit here and tell you no lie. Now that I'm full of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, I'm not going to try to trick you like I figured something out by myself. I ain't know I wasn't Negro, black, and colored till somebody told me, that somebody told them, that somebody told her, that somebody told him that Drew Ali came and brought us this demonstration. I ain't kicking the prophet off the pedestal. I could talk the spots off a leopard. I ain't forgot, Moorish Americans, about the hypocrisy of man. The higher self, the lower self. I ain't forgot, grass sheep, when I told them people I stopped eating pork back in the 70s because I wanted to be a good Muslim. And a man I admired caught me running through John Hopkins cafeteria with a pork chop coming out. I ain't forgot. So examine thyself and stick to what? The record. And I say again, boys, I'm not saying it to be mean or evil. Stop wasting time talking about a billboard. You should hear how you sound. I'm not striking out or speaking of the individual. I'm talking about the concept. We are doers. We the lords of the world. We have good leadership. But are we willing to make a sacrifice for the sons of man? A billboard like you ain't never started a fire. You're a revolutionary. I'm not advocating for you to go out and do these type of things. And you all understand what I'm saying. I'm just using that as an analogy. But they still got it in our neighborhoods. What we going to do? Ask them to move. They don't want to move? Burn them down. And you pay for them. Set them down. How much with that billboard? Y'all hear what I'm saying? I ain't telling you don't compensate. I'm saying, I'm not even telling you to do that, but do something other than keep whining about Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie ain't got nothing that you don't give him. Read this in closing, boy. Master, magistrate, and subject. O thou, the favorite of heaven, leader, whom thy sons, who the sons of men, thy equals, have agreed to raise thee to sovereign power. The people got the power. And they agreed to raise you to it. To act as a rule and guide over them. Because they acknowledge something within you that is admirable. Not that they need you, because it say thy sons of thy what? Equal. And those who apply the signs know that we know how to meet. We meet on a level, is that right?
Absolutely.
We know how to act on it. We act upon the plumb line. And then when it's time to park, we part on the square. But frustration have us mixing our tools up. Now you're trying to take the bolt off the car, you got a flat and you're frustrated, you forgot about the signs. Now you need to take that nut off the tire and you got a fork in your hand. Crazy man, come back to your senses. We got the tools, we got the applied knowledge. All we have to do more is use it. We got to learn to love and start to hate. We got to address our personal psyche and find out that who controls the Moorish movement? We do. Who controls this election? You do. You do. You do. Every single one of you are important in the sight of the Creator. Without you, there is no reason for us to be here. But since we are here, we stop by to talk about the gospel. Not religion, but the good spell. Because we had to take and relinquish the bad spell. Dealing with clip sovereignty. Dealing with the illusions after being in the movement for 29 years and hearing 4 national grand sheiks talking to each other, talking about Islam grand sheik, Islam grand sheik, Islam national grand sheik, Islam national grand sheik, Islam national grand sheik. That's why people don't want to keep coming sometimes. They ain't that confused. They know if there's one nation, there should be one national grand sheik. So I'm going to stop here for the question, take one and pass it on to my brother. Question. Somebody had a question? Yes, no.
To explain what you was explaining to us about the license plates the other day.
It's long. The brother man asked explanation of the license plate, the Lord Noble Nature LP sit here. So the response, the liability, or the honor will be passed to him. But let me say this real quick about this one. This is one. This works. You have one that works, that's great. Let's stop saying his ain't no good because it don't have the iodine and the cream. Is yours working? You never paid excise taxes by getting one issued from the state. Be grateful to Allah. Stop saying this one ain't no good because the brother from Ashbury put this one together and see what he did was the eyes separate. Is it working? Arrogance, man. I close with this. That arrogance, you got to be called that we keep saying prophet noble Charlie, prophet noble Charlie. Praise Allah for American-born prophet. But he told you specifically, these lessons are for all those who love Jesus. Now, if you want to see the argument about do this work, do that work, then look at the blessing that Jesus brought. When John came to him, they say, Master, we was rebuking that man down the street because he was doing all these wonderful things. And he was casting out demons in your name. And Jesus said, if he was doing that good work, then why did you rebuke him? You don't know everybody that's with you. But you can recognize with your arrogant self, myself included, when arrogance is at its meridian, you can recognize that irregardless to what a man doing or not doing, the principle is the same. The proof of his messiahship is in his words, works, and deeds. How dare you place attack on the good words, works, and deeds, Mr. Arrogant, ill-paid? If it's working and it's taking Negro black coming out the people and they not breaking no law, I ain't talking about no ordinance and regulations, they not breaking no law, let it be. And be content with thyself. Remember thy own imperfection. You ain't the only one that know how to do something. If one of us had the answer, we wouldn't have. If one of us alone had the entire answer for all the sons, the 12 sons of the 12 ages, if one of us had the entire complete answer, whether it be applicable or not for the masses, but one that will subdue everybody, there would be no need for this lecture. There would be no need for it. So more, let us regroup and let us replenish in the spirit and let us continue on in the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That one that we don't know about because Allah appears to heart. That one that's among us that we don't know about that need to hear something. Let us not cut the flow off. Let us let it ebb and flow. So that one, and I say to you as I close, to the one, if you're present, and I trust you are, and you have a question for Lord Noble Nation Hillback, you have a question for Grand Chief, remember that we give honor to questions, that you are important, that your nickname that they called you and beat you down with forever, you really are somebody. When they took your urine-stained sheets and hung them out the window and shame-faced you for wetting the bed because they taught you about this boogeyman and then scared you to death at night, you are somebody. Take your fears and put them aside. This is resurrection time. This is liberty time. If you have a question, your question is important to these brothers up here. And it's important to yourself and it's important to the nation. We give honor to questions. There's only one dumb question. That's the one that you keep to yourself and no self-respect. The one that you refuse to answer because you still feel shame-based by somebody telling you you're going to be just like your father. Your father was a dope fiend in jailbird and you ain't disappointing nobody. But now it's resurrection time. Allah forgive. Why don't we? Islam? Islam. I'd like
to Islam. Islam. I'm going to address the question. Before I go into the question, you've been dealing with that subject matter on who controls the Moorish movement. It's very simple. And this is why Drew Ali enforced constitutional law. It's because it's interchangeably applied. 9/10 denotes possession. 9/10 denotes possession. 9/10 is possession of the law. So whoever controls us is controlling the Moorish movement. Because the Moorish nation controls the Moorish movement. And if they have possession over us as being Moors, then they control the Moorish movement. We're not controlling. Don't mean that we're supposed to accept that. What we need to be talking about is what can we do to gain possession of the Moorish movement. COINTELPRO has been put in place to counteract who controls the Moorish movement. This is why Drew Ali came back upon the scene in 1913. Because our flag was took down in 1774. Drew Ali also emphasizes that out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. A guide is a director, one who controls, or a controller. So this is why the Moorish Science Temple was put in place, to counteract that. Now, brother man, you had a question based on the plate.
I want you to explain what we was demonstrating about the other day about the significance of the numbers and everything. And what it represents, what it means.
All right. I'm holding up, and this is a tag that we use out in Jersey. Not all the Moors use this tag out in Jersey. But first I'm going to explain the jurisdiction, because jurisdiction is important, even going back to the subject matter of who controls the Moorish movement. Everything is based on jurisdiction. Jurisdiction means authority. So when you hear us in court demonstrating what's your delegation of authority, or who gave you the power, when you see it, we don't refer to certain people sitting in the East calling themselves judge, we call them magistrate. The reason why is based on jurisdiction. Jurisdiction means authority. Who has the authority? Or where do you derive your authority from? This is what we have to get into. Who has jurisdictions over our individual self? This is why when we go into courtrooms, they ask you, how do you plead? All depending on how you answer lets him know who has jurisdiction over you. If we don't understand the technicalities of law, then we keep giving up jurisdiction. Our intentions could be well into reserving our rights. But until we understand how to stay within a common law venue, then we will keep waiving our divine guidance, our divine authority brought back to us by Noble Drew Ali. Islam? The jurisdiction of the Moorish nation is an independent nation. It has a constitution. It has a flag. We know all these things. That's our jurisdiction. We have our own customary laws, in harmony with the Republican constitutions all around the planet. What's being misconstrued is that word republic is not really sitting on our dial plate. Whenever the republic has been overthrown, the jurisdiction and the authority goes right back to an individual. So a lot of Moors get caught up into what plate looks better, or what plate has more authority, or what plate works better than the next plate. What's on this plate don't even matter. If we erase all the words off this plate and just had these two flags here, that shows our jurisdiction and our authority. This flag here shows our authority. No one can pull rank or jurisdiction over us if all we had on a conveyance was just these flags. Because that lets whoever's pulling us over and questioning us, it lets him know that we're not within his jurisdiction.